Um, Notice of regular city council meeting. The city council for the city of Brookshire, Texas will hold its regular city council meeting on November the 2nd, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. at Brookshire City Hall, located at 4029 Fifth Street, for the purpose of the following. Before we start the meeting, which is 7:02, I'd like to do a prayer and the pledge, please.
Mr. McAnally, sir.
Most gracious Father in heaven, we come before thee with humble hearts and eager hands, give our thanks for the blessings that thou hast bestowed upon us. We're grateful, Father, for those in our community that have spent time this week ensuring the safety of our youngest citizens. We're grateful for those that reach out and break down the barriers that divide us and build up thy kingdom. We pray, Father, this night that as we discuss the business of administering this small part of thy kingdom, that your Spirit will guide and direct this work, that we might indeed be mindful always of how we can best serve each other as we go forward. And this we pray for in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McNamee. Ms. Glover, would you do us the honor of calling us to order, please?
Mayor Branch,
Here.
Alderwoman Nordhoff,
Present.
Alderwoman Taylor, Alderman McAnally,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Hill,
Present.
Alderwoman Branch.
She's not going to be here.
Yeah, the quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. As I passed by the back, I didn't see anyone sign up for public comment.
Mr. Pruitt just brought it up.
Okay. Move forward. The next agenda item is number 6, swearing in ceremony for Brookshire Police Captain John Miller.
I, in the name and by the authority
I, in the name and by the authority
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
I, John Miller,
I, John Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of police captain
the duties of the office of police captain
of the state of Texas
of the state of Texas
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
He needs to sign.
Another lefty. Good. Lefties are taking over.
That's right.
About time.
Welcome, Captain Miller. Have a good afternoon. Okay, next agenda item is number 7. Public hearing, conduct a public hearing to take possible action regarding the structure located at 1023 Rouse Street, no response. 3206 3rd Street, no response. 1113 Rouse demo permit pool,
And, council, sorry.
but need council to make a determination. And, okay.
Time is 7:07.
Huh?
Time is 7:07.
May I proceed? Yes. Council, we've got permits on the property to clean up the property and demolish some buildings and put a fence around it for safety. And permits have been not approved but paid for, and we'd ask the council to approve them. We will also report back to you in 60 days to let you know the status of the cleaning of the lot. So we hope to be your first meeting in January.
Which property are we discussing? Which is your property?
1113 Rouse Street.
So, Mr. Ward, the permit's been pulled. We're just waiting on staff to process it, or what does that look like?
Yes, so do we take it off, Justin, if they pulled a permit?
Well, so, just for procedure, wise, we're doing a public hearing now, so you're free to, say anything about the property. If you're done, then we'll, this property or any other properties, then mayor needs to close the public hearing after everyone's had their time to speak. And then action, we can discuss whatever the terms of the order might be.
Okay,
Okay, what's it?
thank you, ma'am.
The buildings you're gonna demolish, that's the fire damaged building, that's the main property?
Buildings, and the property's not safe. We want to put a fence around it and then get it clean as soon as possible. And it needs to be done, and we're ready to do it.
Okay.
Report back to you in 60 days.
And then what's your intent with the property after that point, if I don't mind asking?
It's co-owned by the family members here. I have James Jones III is the first co-owner, and then there's another co-owner there. And so we hope to just clean up the lot and see what we can do in the family. But the most important thing to us is it's just not pleasant to the eye, and it's
Sure,
not
sure.
safe. And we care about the community and our neighbors, and I think if it's cleaned up, then a lot of the people who have been hanging out there will not have a place to hang out and sit, and then the lot will be clear, and maybe the community will be clear.
Very good.
So we're well intentioned. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
That's it. What are we gonna do, B?
We'll close the hearing.
Okay, close the public hearing, 7:10. It's no comments, right?
Yeah, correct.
So Justin, is this when we would say that, let's go ahead and pull 1113 Rouse from the,
So for all these properties, so you have the ability, we sent out notices and all that, you have the ability under your ordinance, under state law, to take action or not take action. If you take action on these properties, it can be to demolish them, have them repaired. I think the recommendation from your building official, from what I've seen, is that the structures have been, especially here on the agenda, are for demolition.
right,
Now, state law, what it'll do for you is it'll say that you can do, if you order the demolition of something, that you have a specific time for that. Specific time for the property owner to do something about it, or the city can come in and then take that action, and if any kind of cost associated with whatever the action is gonna be, whether it's demolition or repair, we can file a lien on the property for that. So, what was presented to you was a 60-day time period to clean up the property. That's perfectly fine. It's so, what state law would say is that anything really beyond 60 days, then what would be built into that order is that a reporting back to you, so I think that's what was presented to you, why it would be that.
Right.
Nothing prohibits you from going longer than that, or not accepting that proposal and just ordering the things demolished. You really have kind of a wide range of what you want to see happen. But again, at the end of the day, for all these properties, it's not about trying to make them the best that they can be. It's about meeting minimum health and safety issues for them. And so that's going to be the basis for all the orders. It's just if demolition is the purpose for that, then that's what needs to happen.
Ma'am, I apologize, I didn't get your name.
It's Cynthia Masters.
Okay. And so, your proposal is, absolutely. So your proposal is y'all will be demoing it at y'all's expense within 60 days.
That is correct. We
Okay.
want to save the city of Brookshire as much money as possible so it can be used for other matters in the community.
We thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. So then on the other two, Justin, Mr. Pruitt, excuse me, can we order those within 30 days? Is that reasonable for Public Works to be able to accomplish that, Ms. Ward?
Yes.
Okay.
So usually what you'll say is that you 30 days for property owner to take action. And in this case, I mean, you can say whatever, the most standard order that is the most common is 30 days to pull demolition permits, get those permits pulled, and then, your permits have a lifespan on them so that you would expect demolition.
Right. These will be on the two that the city would be demoing. So 30 days on those, 60 days to allow them to process on their end.
The other ones, I would say that what you're doing is the order would be against the property owner, so you give them a certain time frame to do something, and so I think that would be, instead of saying 30 days to have the structure demolished, 30 days to get the permit secured, and then if no demolition occurs, if that permit's not pulled from that, then that triggers the city's ability to have the property demolished.
Okay, so as of this moment, a permit is pulled, paid for.
Correct.
So our, depending on the rest of council, order would be within 60 days completion and fulfillment of that permit for demolition and cleanup of property.
That's for 1113.
Correct. The other two, I'd like to see us say within 30 days, Public Works.
And we had all of the public hearings that are necessary now on those properties?
Yep.
There's more that require by state law, even two per
We've posted out about it as well.
Okay, so we've done more than was required?
I
Okay.
know this property's not on her, but the 11th Street property, have they pulled a permit and began process on
I'd
it?
have to ask Ms.
Okay.
Lorena, I'm not certain.
And just so it was, like, whatever you determine for these properties, I have state law, your code is a little unclear about it. There's generally two ways you can fix this system on substandard structures. Your code combines both of them, so it's a little clear, so we're going to go the more conservative route, which is whatever you say tonight, we're gonna build that into an order, and that's gonna be, I'll have that ready to go tomorrow, and then we'll put that, file that of record, so it'll be on the property record.
So, Mr. Hill, my only question is, we've gone above and beyond our diligence in this. Why would we go give them another 30 days? Why don't we make it
Well, it's
7 days
It's
or
not
10?
really for the homeowner, it's Public Works within 30 days to have them demoed. And I don't know their current work schedule, so that's the only reason I said 30 days.
Okay, so this would be only 30 days internally
For
at this
properties
point,
1 and 2.
Correct.
For their property, we're
yeah,
giving
I'm
them
not
60
talking- yeah,
day
that
grace
property, yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
then? Okay. So you were just saying that our Public Works Department will need 30 days to
Up to
and
30
most
days.
likely had to do that, okay.
Most likely they'll get it done next 1 or 2 weeks, but I don't want to.
No, absolutely, I understand. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I wasn't understanding that it was
Yeah.
on our Public Works to do that at that point in time.
The
Okay.
motion can still include also up to 60 days for their property.
Correct.
Just to make sure that everything's covered so we don't have to revisit, should anything come up on y'all's end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would support that.
Okay.
Ready for number 8?
You ready for a motion? On number 7?
Oh, yeah, I guess we might already do that.
Right. I move that we allow Public Works 30 days to demo properties number 1 and number 2 per the agenda, and allow the property owners up to 60 days to demo property number 3 per the agenda.
Second.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 8. Consent agenda, items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine or generally enacted in one motion. The exception to this rule occurs when when a council member requests one or more items removed from the consent agenda for separating discussion and action. First one we have is A, minutes from October 19, 2023, regular council meeting. B, we have bills paid, report September 2023. C, court report September 23.
There's no objection. I make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, we have new business. A, discussion, consider approval of invoice from Laskers and Son for irrigation landscape work that was necessary in order to move sidewalk grant project forward.
Basically, you'll see the invoice in the work has already been completed. This is more of just kind of an information item and for y'all to approve the invoice. This is all related to the grant, the downtown grant that we're doing. This was not taken in consideration by the engineer who was working on this project, so
Surprise.
right, so unfortunately, this was something that we had to incur. I will say Mr. Roosevelt was more than willing to jump in and get it done in a timely fashion for us. It's been extremely frustrating, and I think that's one reason that we wanted to put this on the agenda was to continue to express our frustration and frustration to the public that this process with the downtown revitalization is not what we had planned. It was not what was set forth in the project worksheet. And to be quite honest, the city is incurring an extreme expense for mistakes that the contractor and the engineer has made in this process. I will offer that going forward, once we do secure an engineering firm, that something like this will not happen, because we will have an on-staff contractual engineer that would be able to find some of these very obvious things like water lines.
So this wasn't even included in the scope of,
No,
This is
work?
an out-of-pocket price
because of a mistake.
because of a mistake that the engineer and the contractor made on this project. And it's like, it's almost daily. We are racking up we were notified yesterday that they're having to disconnect the convention center sign, disconnect electricity to it, reconnect it.
Even the scope of work that they began with wasn't the original
It's
scope of
not
work
the
that
original.
council even looked at and approved. It was all of a sudden bulldozers and backhoes showed up and started ripping things out, and we're going, what?
So, and I can say that we have been in contact with the contractor and the GLO representative, the Grant Works representative, and it's just, we feel like staff, we are just in a circle, topsy-turvy circle. We can't get answers. We can't even get them to get on calls. I've talked to them. Ms. Molina's talked to him. Mr. Hill's talked to him. I believe Mayor Branch has talked to them. Now we have a shattered window on the backside of City Hall that we think was included. I mean, it's one thing after another. So really, this is on here because I wanted y'all to see prime example of what we're having.
so this construction company obviously is doing this with the intent of making some money. Have we approached them at all about covering some of their own mistakes and paying for it, and have they just refused?
Correct.
So there's kind of a barrier between the construction company, the engineer. The engineer essentially has told even staff that any decisions go through him. So there's
He's
kind of
also
an
getting a
issue there.
paycheck for doing this job, so perhaps he needs to pony up some money if he can't make decisions?
Yep.
It's been very frustrating, and it's been costly on our end.
So this would not be covered by the grant. This is gonna come out of city funds
Correct.
because of their
Not
errors.
to mention that all of the landscaping we just put in, about 75% of it has been taken out.
So Are
for them
we,
to have
are we
about
looking at reviewing legal recourses against these operators?
We can, I will say, just in my experience
I
in
mean,
working
for
with GLO,
$5 grand, I
there's-
wouldn't do it, but if you're talking about daily expenditures of $8,600,
Mhm.
we gotta be coming up on
Sure.
tens of thousands of dollars that the city should be.
And we're not even, the
Oh.
grant is not even supplying the output of what we originally intended for it to cover.
Right.
It's really just this corner right here.
Well, and having worked with contractors, I get, we don't wanna poke the nest until they finish the work. But I hope that we are making some plans to poke that nest really hard.
There's a catch-22, as you know, with CDBG, any sort of downtown revitalization grant that is government funded, there's so many internal caveats that when you sign off on that grant, you essentially sign off saying you incur any of these, accessory type expenses, and you think, well, my engineer's done their due diligence, the contractor's done their due diligence until you're a year down this road, and then this is happening.
I agree. The ancillary costs we agreed to. What we didn't agree to was to pay for the gross negligence or incompetence of an engineer that we didn't have a choice in hiring and a contracting company we didn't have a say in bringing to the table. And that's why I'm thinking that,
In my mind, ancillary cost is they pulled up the concrete and discovered electrical lines that run underneath the concrete.
right.
Sprinkler heads are pretty easy to see.
I agree. I
If a
agree.
good
This is
sidewalk was done.
this is not an ancillary cost. This is gross incompetence on the part of an engineer, maybe a construction company. And I don't believe that when we signed off on the SCBG grant, that we agreed to cover any negligence.
Right.
Mr. Pruitt, am I off base on that thinking?
And I wanna clarify, it's not the landscaper's fault, I mean,
No, I absolutely get it. I'm,
like
that's what,
they
the engineering and the
we
construction
called
is where
them, and
the,
they jumped in and they completed it and they got it done in a timely manner and in a,
Over the weekend.
sufficiently,
Yeah.
extremely
no, I'm
expeditious.
not saying anything against Alaska Sign at all.
Right.
I'm
It's
talking
just-
about,
I completely agree with you, and so that's why, I mean, we can't keep incurring, $9,000 because, we forgot,
can we
Their
put
intention
this?
to repair the corner across the street as
We've
well.
been asking them for 2 weeks.
That
Because
was,
they started ripping that up when that apparently wasn't on the scope.
No, and they've now gone and ripped up additional
Yep.
at 7 o'clock in the morning and said, well, we're gonna take care of it, our expense, because we made a mistake, but it's been there for 2 weeks.
so we're gonna go further past the mistake. Plus, there's a drain line issue. I think we've already paid one invoice for a drain line. Was that correct?
Yes.
So, I
Can-
mean,
can we
there's
put-
several issues.
Can we put this up as an agenda item
Sure.
for maybe the
Just an
first
update.
meeting in December to revisit this and see where we are, and maybe have staff come back with some actual overage costs that we have incurred because of this incompetence, negligence, and as a council decide if it's
Sure.
worth pursuing something?
Absolutely.
Okay. With that being said, I would move that we pay Lasker and Sons for the work that they did.
Second.
Sure.
So, I've asked that contractor several times, how long is this gonna take? It's all 3 months. In 3 months.
They originally told us 6 to 7 business days.
So anyway, but I drive by and they're not here working, I see them once in a while. It's all dug out, why don't they just go on and do steel and concrete?
We asked
Because
that.
supposedly
Same
material
question.
shortages.
Excuse.
Yeah,
That at least could do part of it,
because we've even expressed to them how we had the convention center was booked by an individual for their birthday, and how we have the elections that are here, and I mean, it's against the law to try to prohibit anybody from being able to vote, and we're having to go around that. I mean, it's,
And I'm sorry, we know who you are. Could you, for the record, state your names and?
I'm Greg Nealon.
I'm Roosevelt Alaska, owner of Alaska Son. I'd like to give y'all some pictures
Thank you.
of what they did.
Perfect, thank you so much.
They
This
really
all,
had to do a lot.
this all needed to be done so that it's done before they do the concrete, because when they do the concrete, then
The
it's
day
gonna
they
be
showed
more
up.
expensive to do all that getting around to the water.
And just so council knows, with the election and the making this room publicly available for a public meeting, at the city's expense, we had to build ramps to get into the back building,
Right.
the store. We also had to build an additional ramp to get into the civic center for voting.
Mhm.
So again, it's kind of one thing on top. And I will say, Ms. Glover has been managing a lot of this, and she's done a great job of trying to stay in contact with them. It's just the communication channels. Everybody's on a different channel, seems like, and
Yep.
nobody's talking about the same project. So we, as frustrated as it is for us, we really don't have the clarity that we feel like we should have.
I definitely want us to revisit this, like I said, maybe the first council meeting in December, along with some actual numbers.
When it all gets said and done, we'll make it look nice again.
Yes.
No doubt.
But
Thank
wait
you.
till all the mess is out of there, and
That's
'cause I
right.
don't want nobody else back
All right.
messing it up.
They just didn't do their homework before they started.
Correct.
Mhm. Mhm. No, we appreciate your guys' work. Thanks so
Yes,
much.
thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Ready for a vote?
Oh, yeah, you already,
I moved, Amanda, and Ms. Newendorf seconded, yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Next item is B, discuss and consider the adoption of ordinance changing the Texas municipal retirement system employees' contribution to 7% of annual salary.
And we do have a representative from TMRS, if you want to come up. And basically, we talked about this during budget time.
See, this is what we budgeted for,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Yes, we budgeted for this during budget time. Basically, what this is, we currently are on a 6% 2-to-1 match program, and this is just making it 7% 2-to-1. We felt like this was, this is the maximum that TMRS offers for retirement contribution, is the employee contributing 7% and the city matching that 2-to-1. Just in terms of recruiting, top personnel and retaining, we felt like this was something that we had to do as part of the employee benefit package. And then, and part of increasing that 7% is addressing the long-standing COLA that goes with that retirement system. So again, like I said, we did budget for this, and we talked about it when we were talking about personnel issues.
And this is the ordinance that
The-
they've proposed? or this is-
Yes, TMRS crafts this. This is their standard verbiage for kind of how everything is.
And Mr. Pruitt, have you had a chance to review this?
Yeah, a lot of these cycle through TML and outbound from there, so a lot of it's standard legal news.
Far be it from me to trust anybody's.
Just saying, you wouldn't be surprised to not see the exact same thing on other agendas.
I was reading through this yesterday, and there was some of it was just, it gets into some financialese that was gobbledygook to me, and I just wanted to be sure that somebody who understood what it was about had actually reviewed it and was good with it.
And if y'all have any questions, he's here to answer those. Does anybody have any
I mean,
questions?
I reviewed it personally, and I'm good.
I'm good. Unless you just want to say something.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
With that, a move to adopt the ordinance changing the Texas Municipal Retirement System employee contribution to 7% of annual salary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Sorry about that, sir. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be safe.
Yes, sounds great.
Okay, we're gonna skip down to item H. Discuss and consider the approval of service agreement with Safe Built for contracting code enforcement services.
Yes, you can come up here so we can hear you, yes.
He'll come back to yours. He's jumping out to let them, they're out of town.
cut in front of you. Mayor, Council, my name is Tracy Rodriguez. I'm the Director of Texas for Safe Built. Just wanted to make sure, since y'all were going to put this on the agenda, that if there were any questions, that someone was here to answer, as y'all consider our contract.
Again, this was something that we talked about during budget. We felt was gonna be the most, financially reasonable and most time equitable decision for the city is to use a contract company to do our code enforcement. We've gotten references from several other cities that contract with them and utilize contract code enforcement services. They estimate, about 2 days a month they will be in the city doing code enforcement, and for every day that they spend in the city doing the code enforcement, they will spend the following day doing the administrative follow-up, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Nope, you're correct.
Okay, with the, you know, the mail outs, the notifications, making the contact, you know, doing all of the administration to follow up the, insight visits when they're here in the city. And, we're excited. We think it's gonna be a great process for us. And again, it's a hourly contract, so some months we may have more activity than other months, but I think they can speak to the fact that, once people kind of know that we're getting on a rotation and we've got a standard that we're measuring, and also it's somebody that's not from the community, that doesn't have a personal tie to my neighbor, my friend, you know, whatever, it's, the system tends to work very well.
We have such a backlog. Is there any chance of getting them contracted for more than one day a month at the beginning?
Yes, we will sit down and we'll kind of negotiate that. And I will say that Mr. Cabrera, who's doing our code enforcement right now, is doing a great job.
Absolutely.
He is
He gave me a citation today.
Really?
Apparently my RV is parked on the grass, and that's, you can't park on the grass in
I like
Brookshire.
it.
So, I did not know this, so.
He's doing his job, right?
I like it.
He's doing a great job.
That shows that
but-
he shows no bias.
There you go, there you go.
But as we had discussed during budget, we are going to be moving him to a different department, and we just feel like using the contractual services is gonna be a better fit for our city, so we will definitely.
Absolutely no problem with that. My concern is just, if we're gonna drop down to one day a month, we finally are making a dent in this, and I don't wanna lose the momentum that we've gained.
No, and we will
with
sit down and kind of have an onboarding with them to kind of decide what we feel like that appropriate amount is. They'll kind of do an audit and let us know. So there's a lot of flexibility in that. We're not stuck in saying we're only gonna do 1 day, 2 days, 3 days a month.
Okay.
You know, they're the experts in it, so we're gonna, you know, allow that onboarding process to kind of work the way that it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
I move that we would accept the proposal from Safe Built for the contracted code enforcement services.
Will you amend your motion to include disregarding 5.6 on page 12,
5.6 on page 12.
the floodplain review?
Oh, correct.
Which one is that?
Floodplain review.
Oh, floodplain, okay. Yes, so amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you soon. Okay,
Do you need Mr. McAnally's address for follow-up?
Hey, he gave me 30 days to move it and pour some concrete.
okay, let's go back to item C, discuss and consider approval resolution 1471 for a variance request for 24 Second Street for residential new construction. That you? Your name. Let us have your name first.
Sylvia Vasquez.
Okay.
Well, my family members are building a house there. We were given this when I come up here to get the offset, and and they were wrong. So the architect went off of this, and now they're saying it's supposed to be 15 feet.
Were you given a permit?
I paid for one, but I haven't been approved.
Okay. I think from our perspective, the concern is that before you were issued a permit, a pad was put in. So the pad for the house.
No, I have I mean, is that where they, Beatrice signs off and then I pay for it and then?
You can, yes, you can pay for a permit, but it has to be approved. Have you gotten the actual
No,
approved
well,
permit back?
it was approved by one company, and then I got stuck on the second company because the offsets were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who is the first company?
I'm not sure. They just tell me one company's gonna approve it, and then they send it to y'all.
Okay.
I guess y'all have two companies that approve.
No, it's one permit.
One permit.
Now, there's multiple reviews, but ultimately it's one permit.
Mhm.
I've been up here since April, every week, speaking with Beatrice, and I'm not sure who the other lady, her name. There's two ladies up here that I talk to every week. Margie. Yes, and I'm going by what they're telling me. So every week I'm coming and getting something, and they're telling, okay, this is fine. Then I come back and this is fine. And they're telling me, you know, everything is fine. I turn it in, they send it off, and then I get stuck. So I'm not really sure what the process is, because it's the first time for me or the family members. And
Sure.
they were trying for 2 years prior to me even coming up here. The reason that I stepped in is because they don't speak English.
Mhm.
So that's why I came to help them.
Sure.
It's their property.
Do you have your original permit variance applications? Because on ours, there's no date.
Actually, the application was made by, I forgot her name.
Renee Ramirez?
Is that your family member, Renee?
Renee.
If that's your family member?
And what was the date of that application?
The variance application was, I don't have that date on here, but the actual application for the permit was on April the 3rd.
Okay. So, here's my issue personally. Number one, y'all have already not poured, concrete foundation, but y'all have brought in dirt. Do y'all have Brookshire Municipal Water District sign off that, Brookshire Katy Drainage District sign off that the amount of dirt you brought in, you took that amount of dirt out? Do y'all have any sign off from Brookshire Katy Drainage District?
I'm not sure what he did. I wasn't even aware that he had done that.
If you want to see the pictures, I went by this morning, and the dirt's there. So that's been brought in, that's fresh-ish. So, there's a little bit of grass growing, but it's fresh. The other issue I have, and for council, I could pass my phone around, that lot line to the east is right up against a storage shed on the adjoining property. And there's no way that's meeting the setback on that side. And I understand the variance y'all requesting is a setback on the west side, but really there should be a setback variance on the east side, but y'all have already encroached.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. The person that did all the paperwork for the variance.
You don't know.
No, it's the lady that works here for y'all. She's the one who suggested that.
And who
Her name is
specifically
Donna.
said y'all could build it right up against a storage shed on adjoining property?
No, they didn't say I can build it right on top of there. They just
Right.
gave me this, and she.
Did they have a
suggested-
survey where they marked off where you could build up to?
Diana.
Diana?
Diana's the one that I've been.
And she wrote in writing, you can build up to the storage shed?
No.
Okay.
She just told me that I need to come up here, and she was gonna suggest this.
For the
us,
variance.
So we were gonna go
But-
by whatever she wrote.
I understand, but you've already done the work.
I didn't know that was done. I mean,
Yeah.
if he has to take it all down and.
And that's my issue is,
Okay.
you're asking for a variance of stuff that's already there. And so what
don't
are the
think so.
chances that he's truly gonna pull up all that, move it over the 7.5 feet required just on the west side, or the east side, and then we still have the issue on the east side? Was he cited for starting the work ahead of time? What provoked y'all to come in to get the variance?
No, he wasn't cited. I came in here because Diana sent me an email saying that we weren't approved because of the offsets were off. So she said that she didn't see an issue with it being done like that, with the 7.5.
But did
This
she
is what
have,
They gave us.
but
right?
did she have updated pictures of the work that's been done? There's a difference
Like I
in
said,
her
I didn't-
looking at a plat
Right.
that's just arbitrary lines, right? The lot line is this. And seeing that there's a storage shed that's been installed, which may or may not have been permitted, which is now encroaching on the lot line, and then this dirt pad is all the way up against that storage shed, which is against our ordinance. You know, there'd be a second variance that's gonna be now required, which means that whole entire has to be shifted to the west, at least 7.5 feet. And then additionally, we don't have anything from the drainage district that y'all actually got permission to bring that dirt in, and that the amount of dirt brought in was offset somewhere on the property by dirt being taken away. And was there any floodplain review? I mean, I appreciate you coming, but I think you're kind of premature in that we need somebody else that understands what else has happened. I mean, I'm not comfortable approving this based on, it's right up against that shed. And if y'all want to see the pictures, I'm glad to pass them around.
Well, no, I know that we also, we had denied a variance, just a couple streets over not too long ago. With the
Correct.
same thing where they were wanting to build a house and bring dirt in for a pad, and we said you're behind, your neighbors have already built a pad up and the Katy Drainage District would not approve it, and so they had to switch their plans for their home, and instead of building a slab foundation property, they had to build a pier and beam house. And so that's because we know that everything on the north side of town is in the floodplain. And so there is, you have to have your building permit from us, but you also have to have a permit from the Brookshire Katy Drainage District. Because they can tell you, okay, it's in the floodplain, what are you wanting to build? If you're wanting to put dirt in to build your house up, then that means you have to like Mr. Hill's referencing, you have to remove dirt from the rest of the property equal to it, so you don't flood your neighbors. Or you have to build a pier and
Do
beam
you
house.
live in the
or-
house next door?
Yeah, well, they live next door, to that house.
And see that, like Ms. Newman said, that's a concern, is that, there hasn't been a drainage study done on it because the amount of dirt that was brought in to build this up, and because there essentially is like a zero lot line between
Right.
this potential pad and your house, that's a real concern. It should be a concern for you because, everything in that side of town floods,
Uh-huh.
that there is not proper drainage and the flooding for that. And-
Okay,
Like with the pad in place, if we had a heavy rain event, the house next door to it would flood.
Which is her house.
no, it's their house.
Their house, they're currently
Right.
living in it.
They told me that it's not in a flood zone, and they sent me to get approval from, I guess they're off of I'm not sure, I guess the drainage, I
The
took it to
drainage-
them.
The drainage district's
They
on
approved,
Kenny.
and then the water district approved.
Do you
and
have the drainage district's approval? Cause we don't have anything
They have
for that.
everything. I turned it all into the Beatrice. They have all the approvals from all three of the
We
people
weren't
that,
given
because
any
they give
copies
you
of
a
that.
The only thing that
checklist.
was in your file was the
Was just the plat and the
elevation,
elevation,
the setback, and the variance, and the permit application.
the permit application.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was in your file.
I want to see if I have a copy, but they all signed off on it. And they, Beatrice told me that I did not have, I was not on a, this is what I have. I was not in a flood zone.
So this is, yeah, so this is what we have,
Yeah, that's what Diana sent me.
these are the four things that I think it's the.
Did you wrap for lunch?
Not what you got. Use that.
Is that a letter from the drainage district?
Mhm.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I'm uncomfortable voting in the affirmative for sure. But I mean, the documentation's incomplete. And so, in reality, before it's, you know, in the future, before we have these on the agenda, we need to make sure we have all that documentation as part of the file. And I hate to delay
You
y'all,
have to come back again.
Well,
but
I've been dealing, I've come up here so many times every week to speak to them, to try to get the
Mhm.
correct items done. They have a lack of communication between them. I even talked to the secretary. She's also told me that communication is bad. I need to know what we need to do to get this going, because they've been trying to get one for 2 years. I've been trying to get one for 6 months, and it's, frustrating.
Sure.
And also, I need to know what he needs to do, because I didn't even know he had put that on there.
Right.
If he needs to take it down, so for us to come down here and get it going.
Sure. Can I suggest this? Can you call tomorrow and ask for Miss Molina?
No, Monday.
Monday, excuse me, I apologize. She's out for personal. If you can call Monday and ask for Miss Molina and she'll have a report after this meeting. Miss Glover will make sure she's kind of brought up to speed. And that'll be your point of contact from this point moving forward.
Okay.
And then just get with her and she'll be brought up to speed.
And Miss Molina is our city secretary. She's very experienced in permitting, and she's done a lot of these like this before. She works with our city attorney a lot on this, so she can sit down and walk you through it. I think there's a few things that we can tailor and change without you having to change the footprint of the home. There might be some things that you might have to change about the pad of dirt that's been put there, but to be quite honest, in the grand scheme of everything, that's going to be the easiest thing to do, is to change some of those pad issues rather than having to go back and change some architectural issues to fit within that setback. So if you could call up here on Monday and ask to speak to Miss Molina, she can walk you through that process kind of one-on-one and help make those adjustments.
Well, I did come with her last week to talk to her. They forgot to put me on the agenda last month. So This is an ongoing issue that I've been having every time I come up here. It's, I'm getting told one thing and then another, and it's like they're not communicating. So if she's the one that I need to speak to, then, I mean, I don't mind coming, but as long as I'm not getting different information given. And then y'all have incomplete paperwork, which they've had since a while.
Right,
So
and
that
I
upsets me
I
even
can't
more.
speak for what was done in the previous months. I mean, Miss Molina and I have only been here for 2 months, and I will say we have found some issues in communication with some of the permitting and paperwork, and we're working to correct that. So that's why I'm saying, I think it would be a great idea for you to come back, and I will prompt Miss Molina as well that to be expecting you to come in so that y'all can sit down and she can walk you through. And we can look through because like I said, I only have what they give me, and I apologize for that, but we'll definitely work with you and try to expedite this, in the best manner that we can going forward.
And I know you're frustrated, but I would admonish you to not do any additional construction or destruction on the site until we get through this process, because you're just going to create more
No, I understand.
headaches for
I'll
yourself.
let them know.
Okay.
I pulled up the Waller County CAD also. It appears that there is a small section in between basically Baines and Purdy that is not in the floodplain. So I think Miss Ward, if you're able to find out from maybe Miss Campion or Miss Taylor to find out if they have the sign off from the Brookshire Katy Drainage District, because maybe that would be good information to know, whether or not they do need to move that pad or not, but.
Sure.
Okay.
I guess she's going east to west.
When I came,
west to
I
west.
mean, I got everything signed off, and I gave everything to Miss Beatrice, and she told me I wasn't, because she actually went on there.
Well, we'll get them, all of y'all together
We will.
and figure out what happened or
Yes,
what
we will.
needs to
Thank
be
you.
done.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry for the runaround, and thank you for bringing it to our attention, and
And
now.
your name was again?
Sylvia Vasquez.
Thank you, Miss Sylvia.
Thank you.
So basically, I would just recommend that we table this until
Yep.
Miss Molina is able to.
But I already wrote, no action. Well, you got
We'll move
a
as
better-
expeditiously as possible moving forward, but there are some procedural stuff that we just need to make sure is in keeping with past decisions to make sure we're not unbalanced in those.
And
So,
hopefully to save y'all headache in the future from unknowingly doing something that's more difficult to reverse, so.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Okay, next item is D. Discuss and consider approval of resolution number 1470 for the site development plan for Empire West Building 10, contingent on approvals of Brookshire Katy Drainage District and Waller County Mud 13.
This is the last phase, correct, of
Yes.
Empire West?
Yep.
Use development plans required by your.
Right.
Southwest corner.
Diana sent an email yesterday, so I just want to make sure that you guys put in the report and the recommendations. But just that, this thing is, not this particular building, but Empire West has been, multi-stage development. When it first started, your code allowed 50-foot heights. But when you adopted your new regulations, you adopted the 2018 standards, which allowed heights of 35 feet.
Mhm.
So I just want you to know that this is what we conform to. All the other buildings out there is a 50-foot building, it's not
Right.
35. But your new code accounts for that 35 height by saying that for every foot you need to go, you need 1 foot setback, additional setback. So even with your 50 foot, they meet your setback requirements anyways, which is, that's noted in your.
Okay.
Good to know.
I move to approve resolution 1470.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item E, discuss and consider the adoption of ordinance to accept petition for Twinwood US Inc. for the removal of certain property from the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city of Brookshire. Resolved a development agreement affecting Twinwood US INC, EJ property, and authorizing the transfer of property for Twinwood to the city of Brookshire. What the hell is that?
The mayor and council, just to really increase some things with this. State law changed the last legislative session that allowed any property owner in ETJ in Texas to submit a petition to the city and request removal from the ETJ. Any property owner can do that. The city has a limited time to respond to that, and, you had to do 1 or 2 days to accept it.
And our non-response is considered a response in the affirmative, correct?
Correct.
I mean, the intent of the new law is to allow these things to happen, so it's gonna happen one way or the other. Either you accept it or you order an election to have it accepted. And so there would be no motivation for the city, I don't think, to encourage us an election to have something that's also a default move in. When we did that, this is a substantial amount of property, but I want to address the first thing. I know Ms. Taylor had some issues about some of the property that was included in that area being removed. No property that's not owned by Twinwood can be removed. So there is petitioner, so whatever property, and even if some of the maps in here may be off and include other property owners, if those are not removed, it's only Twinwood's property. That's the issue. Second thing this is doing is, so you're going to be authorizing removal of that from your ETJ. Action that we have to take on our end is we'll have to update our ETJ maps to make sure that we reflect all that and make sure that. Second thing this ordinance is doing is associated with that property, there's a development agreement that the city may, and I'm saying may, because I don't have the final version, but the city may enter into a development agreement with a property owner that was a predecessor in ownership to Twinwood, and it's unclear how that will affect Twinwood or not. And so just to cover all bases, what we're saying is that any obligation that was in that development agreement will resolve that those obligations. Some of those were, for some of the property that's in ETJ, the Twinwood or that previous company would have had to create certain muds and do things, and development hasn't happened that way. And so that thing on its own would terminate pretty soon anyways, but we're just taking the first action to resolve that. Third thing is that part of the solution and removal of that development agreement, Twinwood is going to grant outright to the city about a little less than 3 acre tract along I-10. I don't think that term sheet wasn't included in your packet, but in the term sheet, they're very clear that we can do with it whatever is legally, whatever public purpose we want to use it for, we can use it, whatever we want. And we'll make sure that you have that, what they not be total of 2.7 acres, but a small sliver of that along the I-10 frontage road is subject to expansion by TxDOT. So it's either part of condemnation or there's an agreement already on that property, but that little sliver is gonna be, will coming into I-10 right away, wouldn't be the city of Brookshire, but everything else, still have all the frontage and all that property would be there, and we're doing that outright to the city, so there's no conditions on it, so. Those are the three things.
That drawing is not concluded in the packet for that piece. Do you know what the frontage along I-10 is?
Yes.
What the distance is?
How many feet?
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to see if we can pull this up here.
Are we talking 2 miles by 150 feet, or or what are we talking about?
So the property is,
It's about roughly 450 feet frontage
Okay.
on I-10, and this is 100% to scale.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was just trying to figure it out, and I couldn't. I didn't even see that property, that photo was what what they were trying to show us there. I'm googly earthing it, trying to find it.
Yes,
And I was
so
like,
this is the portion right here that
okay.
is in the agreement for us. And this is the TxDOT easement through kind of.
And this gives us property on I-10, which the city's been looking for a while.
It does, and it serves, it fills a couple of buckets for us. One with, a potential leasing opportunity, and two, just, additional frontage property for the
Right.
city.
So my only issue is the language that's in the agreement we have limits the use to a billboard or Brookshire Municipal Water District purposes.
I'm gonna read what, I mean, that must not be what they refer to.
That's not the
Okay.
This
agreement.
was what Twinwood sent over and accepted,
Because that was a, condition.
Right.
Is that the Berkshire Municipal Water District be taken out.
So this is, so what they're saying now is that, accepting the petition for removal and dissolving that development agreement, for those actions, Twinwood donates the property we're talking about in fee, which means outright to the city, allowing for the city to use the property for any lawful purpose, including, and includes those others, but it's not limited to that. So it's just any lawful purpose, and with this site, it's a reason opportunity, and then any other, expansion of any other kind of use. But it's for in fee, which means that it's not conditional on anything.
Okay.
And I'm assuming, Mr. Pruitt, that your recommendation is to approve?
Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
can you finish reading that? I know,
I'll read this, so
if you don't mind.
this in the proposed term sheet, it's not in the packet, but this is the, I'm not gonna read the whole term sheet.
Just that paragraph of
The whole-
any lawful
Twinwood donates
purpose.
the property, the 2.7 tract in fee to the city, allowing for the city to use the property for any lawful purpose, including selecting and maintaining a lease site, negotiating and/or, so it's not conditional, but negotiating a conveyance to Brookshire Water District to allow for construction of whatever the family plant expansion. But they say, provided that Twinwood and the city acknowledge that they agree that a portion of the property subject to an outstanding acquisition by TxDOT related to the interstate highway to expansion, and we'll be, can't be a part of that demolition.
Do you think it's a deal breaker to have them remove that sentence and/or conveyance to Brookshire Municipal Water District?
So, it might be, but it's, I understand it's clear, even though that's part of the term sheet.
I understand the legal needs of it, but I also understand the
This.
understanding of other people.
And just, the big document will be continued transferring this,
Right.
and it's been made clear that we will not have any conditions on it, so we can.
That's what I want to hear. Okay, thank you. With that, I'm good.
Okay.
Motion?
My motion would be to accept the petition of Twinwood US Inc. for the removal of certain property from the ETJ of the city of Brookshire, dissolving the development agreement affecting Twinwood USA, ETJ property and authorizing the transfer of property from Twinwood US Inc. to the city of Brookshire.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Making that so simple. Discuss and, F.
Mr. Pruitt, I just wanted to say thank you for your hard work in putting this deal together and finding an opportunity to really serve the city in a need that we've had for quite some time. I appreciate your extra effort and diligence on that. All right. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, F, discuss and consider the approval of update culvert installation fee.
I am actually gonna recommend that we table this only because we need to recraft, a master fee schedule. And what we really need to do is, at the advisement of our attorney, create the master fee schedule and then make an amendment to the master fee schedule. It is no surprise, we talked about this during budget, that our culvert replacement program, we're not even paying, like, we're not even covering the cost of that. So, use this kind of as a learning, look at what the fees are, what it is for us to install and to purchase. And then what we'll do is we'll come back to you in December with that master fee schedule and what an adjustment to that fee schedule will be for that culvert permit.
So just, we kind of brought this up, I think, maybe during the vet licensing fee. Your code, and it's not a knock on the code, a lot of codes this way, over time, you'll see it's kind of odd how fees are referenced. Some are listed and like, say $15 for a vet fee. And then the next, whatever the next license is, whatever, the permit fee for culvert. So we'll say, what your code does, say something like a fee kept on file with the city secretary. And you find that there's probably not a fee schedule in that, and then you have not even looked at the vet licensing fees for 20 years, So the practical effect of that is that if we're gonna come in and start changing it needs to happen, for those that are specifically listed in your ordinance, you gotta do an actual ordinance amendments, you gotta change your code by that language. The suggestion here is, it's kind of a comprehensive deal, but it should be a good, at least starting point, if not a big undertaking. Go through your code and find where there's reference to fees, whether it's referencing a master fee schedule or listed a specific number. But one shot, we're gonna present to you an ordinance that has all that stuff included. All of those will be referenced on the master fee schedule, and then that allows your administration to say, all we need to do for us to be able to update the master fee schedule, send one image, I come through your code, find all the references, you have one document, one place, and you get everything you have. And I think also for your budget reporting, that's super helpful too, because you're supposed to include fees, like you can amendments to those and what you charge as part of the budget process. So that, again, it's not, instead of combing through the whole thing, you put it in one document.
So your proposal is to table this until December?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item G, discuss and consider approval of purchase of New Holland Workmaster 55 tractor with cab, four-wheel drive for Public Works Department.
This item is basically on here just for information only. We had budgeted in the budget to purchase 2 of the 55 cabs tractors this year. We went and we went to Washington County Tractor and put in an order for the 55, and we had it already on the agenda. New Holland released that November 1st, their prices were gonna go up 7%. So, I got authorization to go ahead and purchase it prior to November 1st. So this is just a kind of a notification. The day after we purchased the first one, a local gentleman traded in a 2023 same tractor with 30 hours on it, and they were able to take $10,000 off of it. So we essentially were able to purchase
Recoup
both
it.
of ours for about $20,000 less than what we had originally budgeted for. So we feel like we hit the jackpot.
Absolutely.
So the guys are super excited. We do have 5 that are going to auction hopefully next week. With the tractor, We also purchased the shredder that goes with it, and we got 2 new zero-turn radius mowers. And again, those, we were able to trade in our existing 3 zero-turn radius on those 2. And they had a substantial amount of hours. I'm surprised that they even offered us a trade-in value on them, but Washington County Tractor was great to work with. All of our equipment with New Holland is pre-bid, which is fantastic. It's pre-bid through a federal bid program, so that helps us. One of the great things about the tractors that we did get is because they are a smaller cab tractor, but they do not meet the threshold for the DEF, so we don't have to worry about any
That
sort
DEF
of-
gets so expensive.
Yes, it does. And it's, it's.
Huh? Diesel exhaust fluid.
Yeah, it creates problems too.
It does.
Yeah.
It creates a lot of problems, so.
A lot
we,
more maintenance
we're-
required and.
The Public Works guys, they do a great job. I know it's part of of what they do, utilizing equipment like this, but it sure does make us feel good to be able to reward our guys with new equipment, and they're so excited about it. So it was a good week for all of us.
So 2 tractors under budget. I had a piece of paper that was attached to this that's from Public Works for the materials to build and install a driveway. I'm not sure what that had to do with the tractors.
Is that what with the previous one about the culvert program and
I know.
replacing the
Oh,
driveway?
I thought you were trying to say you were trying to get a driveway built at your house for your RV.
I did a driveway at my house. No, I just was like, why is this attached to
No,
the
that-
to
no,
the
that's
tractor
for the
stuff?
previous one,
Okay,
previous one.
got it.
I thought you were making a joke. It's like, nice
I
try.
missed the opportunity. I
Nice
should
practice
have.
right
I was,
now,
Okay,
yeah, if these guys need to test these tractors out, I know where there's some space that needs to have some excavation done on it.
They were on them today, and they were like little kids. They were excited.
next item is I.
Do we need to approve this purchase, or is it is
Um,
it kind of pre-done since we already budgeted it?
Yeah, I mean, Justin,
Just is this an FYI, or is this a council
Just-
approval?
I would just go ahead and do it just because of contractual reasons in case you need to
Sure.
sign it.
Okay. I move that we approve the purchase of the New Holland Workmaster 55 tractor with cab 4-wheel drive for Public Works Department.
Second?
Just procedural, can we amend it to go ahead and include the purchase of the second one, so we're not having to do this in the next meeting?
To include the purchase of the second one and any contractual agreements.
or
Is
just
that
say
why?
2. Just
Just
amend,
just the
There was a
purchase
second one
of
that came
2
up
New Holland
right after this
Roadmasters.
one.
yes, just amend it to say 2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item I, discuss and consider approval for proposed Christmas festival budget.
So Mayor and Council, this kind of in reflection of Ms. Branch's request several months ago for all events, our festivals to have their budget presented to council prior to the event. So what I've put here is what we anticipate the entire budget to be. I know budgetary wise, I think our threshold is 12,000. You can see that this is 16,125.47 projected. However, we're projecting about $5,700 in sponsorships, which would put the net cost at $10,425.
Under budget.
So it'd be under budget if the sponsorships were to align, so. And this is largely the same as last year. There's increase for entertainment and we're adding snow this year.
Have any of the sponsorships been confirmed, or we're just anticipating?
The 2 smaller sponsors, yes. The larger sponsor, we're still working on.
I've been in contact with the larger sponsor, having some discussions about that. My gut feeling is that they're going to go with the $5,000, but they haven't signed on the dotted line yet.
Gotcha, okay.
That will probably also include the donation of all the juice that we'll need for the breakfast that morning.
Yeah, that's factored into the, expense category. Now, if that gets donated, then
Right,
that's obviously
right,
an
sure.
offset.
That's side bonus.
Yes. But this anticipated as full disclosure of expected
And I will say that
expenditures.
we are working on a more streamlined sponsorship package that will, kind of cover all of our events and going forward for the Christmas event next year. So basically streamlining out all of our major city events and festivals and building kind of an annual sponsorship package that if we have kind of like a, you know, a corporate capital sponsor that it wants to be the headline sponsor for 5 of our major sponsors events, you know, looking at building that in, but then also having, you know, something that's a little bit more, a couple more options that are community friendly going forward for next year. You know, we, time is a little of the essence this year, so we put together, you know, the best we can, but we have acknowledged that going forward next year, we're gonna try to expand that some.
Any other?
Mr. Mayor, are you looking for a motion to approve this, or was this again just information?
I was just fixing to say,
Okay.
any more discussion, then I'm ready for it. So there is no further discussion. So you're free to give a motion.
I would move that we approve the Christmas festival budget for 2023 as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Next is agenda item number 10, executive session. The city council will meet in closed session pursuant to Title 5, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code for the purpose of consulting legal counsel and deliberation of personal section 551074 regarding the appointment, appeal, employments, valuation, resign duties, discipline, or dismissal of the police chief, city secretary, city administrator, municipal court director, and public works director.
Mayor, we don't have executive session tonight.
And we can skip 11 and 12, council reports, if any.
I did want to add, it was my fault, I forgot to add it to the agenda, so we'll add it right here, but, Chief Hines was going to give a report from the police department.
Would you like a report?
Well, that one.
I was prepared to give one 2 weeks ago.
And I forgot, it was my fault. I overlooked it.
I'll try and do it real quick. The highlights. How's everybody?
Great.
Fantastic.
So the homicide from September 30th, that still continues to be an ongoing investigation. I'll just leave that at where it's at publicly. We have taken delivery of our 4 Malibus and 4 Tahoes, and we're working with a new upfitter. We had one that was across town near Lake Conroe. We found a young man that's closer in Hempstead. And probably able to save a little more money, so we're gonna go with him. We continue cleaning out the inside of the PD, mainly on Fridays and some Saturdays, but also the contractors there now getting to work, and they're starting on the paint, and things are gonna be amazing when we get done there. I think whenever we get done, I think it'd like to have like a little soft
Absolutely.
grand reopening.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast and invite some of the area officials and law enforcement. Be proud of the final product. For the month of November, National Night Out, I attended Pattисon's National Night Out as well for some hours. Met a lot of nice people, got a lot of positive vibe from the community on the good things that are happening here in the city of Brookshire. I held a departmental meeting on the 5th of October, had everybody present at the police department except for one reserve. So felt pretty good about that. We talked about expectations and our mission and where we're going. Our police department needs a lot of work. So, just understand that, and we got a long way to go, and hopefully a long time to get there. But, we'll get there, but everything needs some attention. And we're gonna hire the right people. I've got 2 people in backgrounds, 2 potential officers and backgrounds. I'm hopeful that, we'll bring them on board real soon, as soon as I get those done. And then I've got a potential investigator. He'll probably be dropping off his application probably tomorrow. So we'll have 3 in backgrounds, so that's a very good thing. I attended an event at the hangar, got to know a lot about the hangar, attended that on Family Day, met Ryan. They got a lot of great things going on over there. I'll be meeting him again tomorrow for breakfast, talking about Christmas, things like that, trying to collaborate, moving forward. So that's gonna be a great partnership. Also, I went to the Methodist Church. They had a fundraiser barbecue, and,
Oh, I missed you.
Yeah?
I missed you there then.
Well, I was early.
Okay.
So I went early because I had to be here at the convention center, to work, but I feel like we did a taste test to make sure the food was safe for you to eat.
I went for the auction. My
So
husband
we
had to hold me back.
We had chicken and sausage and had some of the desserts, and everybody was really nice.
Pastor Sue is my next door neighbor, and she came over to gush with me about how wonderful you were.
Oh, good.
So you made a very good impression.
Good. Also, just, I've had some meetings, through the month and open lines of communication with, I've spent some time on 2 occasions with the Royal ISD superintendent. And then I met, Chief Vaughn, and, I've had lunch in the Brookwood community with the Chief Operating Officer. Be going back there again next month. They're gonna have an open house. Also met with the acting, district attorney, visited with the KDPD chief and looked at their CAD and RMS system. Following day, I, met with the sheriff, and we went and looked at their, when I say CAD, that's computer aided dispatch RMS record management system. Also looked at, their product there. And, that's pretty much it. Trunk or treat was at the hangar and at, amphitheater, spent the time there. We had officers there to cross, pedestrians at, on, 90 at Cooper. I don't think many people traverse back and forth. But, anyway, I don't know the weather. I don't know what to compare trunk or treat to or what was been done in the past. But, anyway, it was good for the community. It was good for us to be out there. We had some leftover teams. For the month of October, we had 280 calls for service. We took 24 reports, which amounts to about 9.3 calls a day. That, anything really major, of course, if you're a victim as such, we had a burglary of a habitation in the 3600 block at 12th Street. One morning, a homeowner arrived home, somebody kicked their front door in. It's like they targeted like gaming, devices, little stuff.
Kids.
On 12th Street, somebody had their mailbox damaged. We did have a very serious accident at the hardware store. If you don't already know, I see that they've made some repairs to the brick. But, that young lady, the pedestrian, was life-flighted and had some pretty serious injuries. But it looks like she's gonna recover, but long rehab involved. The smoke shop, the aggravated robbery that we had, on 11th Street on the 20th, we had one in custody. He didn't want to talk about who he was traveling with, which is not a surprise, but we were able to recover some items and some money from the young man, and he essentially confessed and owned up to his responsibility part of it, so. That's where we're at, and that's pretty much all I have. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you so much. I know that this first 6 weeks has been a lot, but we
Been a grind.
appreciate it.
Been a grind. Thank you.
Thank you.
My husband says that he very much enjoys his race car toothbrush.
Oh, I saw those today.
I guess we ready
He's like,
for
it's the perfect size for my travel bag.
Number 13, adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Sorry,
All in favor?
I'm not used to having to move and adjourn for adjournment. It's just, you have your gavel, you just say it, pound it.
You don't want me to do that.
Sure.
I only do that when I get upset.
It's adjourned. We out of here.
'Cause I might throw it. Miss Ward, I would like to show you something.
Mr. Hill.